Hello. So, to continue our topic on epidemics, the information, industry, healthcare, a lot of governments have collectively launched hundreds of thousands of satellites. This is not going to be as complicated as the one on physics, right? All life forms, including animals, plants, and humans, are affected by electromagnetic waves or radiation, and the integrity of cosmic radiation reaching Earth is also impacted. Electromagnetic disturbances are essentially microwave radio waves caused by satellite launch into the ionospheres. Electromagnetic waves also comes from the sun magnetic field. However, we have evolved to adapt to solar waves. Over time, life will adapt to these disturbances, but initially, we are catasap shock, just like when we migrate from one climate to another or from one place to somewhere far away, which can be severe enough to require emergency attention depending on the person health integrity. Pretty much don't neglect your nutrition, have a scientific approach, and you are less affected. A number of deaths, the number of deaths from 5G microwaves, like during the Hong Kong flu, has other contributing factors, but microwaves is the main factor. It's only 2.8% compared to death from malaria, swamp fever caused by swamp gases, and 1.9% when you compare it to tuberculosis death, which is severe poisoning and immune suppression, not caused by tuberculosis viruses, but by smoking. Therefore, there is no need to be afraid of getting tuberculosis from taking care of a patient unless you smoke yourself. The Hong Kong flu is not a pandemic at all. As long as you don't get vaccinated, illness lasts maximum like 5-10 days. So why do so many people die? And why does healthcare blame it on the COVID virus? People die because of the treatment they receive, and who provided the treatment? Deaths are due to doctors. Vaccine campaign are the real pandemics. CDC pay 13,000 from Medicare if a patient dies of COVID. Hospital receive the money, share it with the doctors, the one who signed the death certificates. In contrast, they only get 4,600 if the cause of death is recorded as something else. So who would be in their right mind and record a different cause? Installing ventilators on patient can get the number up to 39,000 from Medicare. So anyone labeled as having COVID guarantees a hospital earning of 13,000. Seeing a patient on the brink without knowing they can breathe on their own or not, they install ventilators so that when the patient die, the hospital gets 39,000. That's why the number of COVID cases kept increasing. Blaming COVID means they get more money to make the people panic. It has to be declared a pandemic. Declaring a pandemic makes people rush to get vaccinated. This is the real goal. Politicians will earn a lot from selling vaccines. That's why every country practices social distancing, a method to terrorize the population. They have colluded to terrorize the population for large profits. The Republican parties, they The principle is fairness. This is in contrast to the democratic principle of equal and equality. Equality is a concept from religion, actually. Thomas Jefferson meant equality before God. Very similar to communism, is own talks is meant to lure the poor and the gullible for votes after election. They don't protect the people and resorts to corruptions. The Republican principle, your effort will yield prop. The Republican principle is appropriate efforts use appropriate rewards, but even the Republican Party now has many communist infiltrators. Let's get back. There are no viruses in the world. According to the definition, viruses attack living organisms from outside the body. In practice, there is no genetic material that causes harm in this way. Viruses are exosomes created by the body to have protected. Viruses have been misrepresented to sell vaccines, a super profitable business. Why do so many people die from misdiagnosed viruses? When affected by radiation, one will recover quickly in a few days if they do not use chemicals. People with symptoms who are scared to go for chemical treatment, basically seeking medical treatment, if they remain that way, most will overcome the illness. Right. How is radiation sickness treatment administered? Remdesivir. All right. Remdesivir is labeled as antiviral drug. It is injected intravenously or added through ventilators, but there are no viruses at all, only exosome trying to clean up the radiation poisoning. So seeking treatment kills exosomes, destroying our allies. Using remdesivir cause patients to die from injection or being put on ventilators, similar to AZT, that for people with HIV or AIDS. So people are diagnosed with HIV are then put on AZT before they contract AIDS. People are poisoned, feeling fatigue. They go to see the doctor. Upon consulting the doctor, they undergo chemical treatment due to the detection of strange genetic material. The healthcare system falsely labels it as a virus, leading to the use of highly toxic AZT. AZT side effects are falsely labeled as such. That's why so many use it, believing in the credibility of the people who administer the drugs. Remdesivir is extremely toxic. So, when used for people who fatigued by 5G waves, we know this event. We all know this event. Wuhan turned on 10,000 broadcasting stations in 2019. Many people were affected. The number of broadcasting stations is higher in one city is higher than all of the US. China declared an emergency, but by now most people have experienced and overcome it in 2024. Vaccination worsens the condition. Unvaccinated, and one would have already overcome it. Remdesivir was created originally to treat hepatitis C, which is caused by toxins, not virus. It was not for treatment, but to worsen the condition of the people who have been diagnosed with hepatitis C. Remdesivir is ineffective for what it was created for, but the FDA permitted using remdesivir experimentally on COVID patients. The NIAID also joined in, claiming remdesivir efficacy. They conspire to create a bandwagon effect. Side effects. I don't think there's any side effect. Is all adverse reactions, including nausea, worsening lung condition, respiratory failure, severe dysfunction, naturally leading to a lack of oxygen, headaches, slow heart rate, low blood pressure, sweating, chills, kidney failure, low albumin level, low potassium, low red blood cells, which are not cells. Red blood cells are actually protein. Low palates, digestive disturbances, increased liver enzyme by 5 to 10 times, weak organs, leading to heart issues, elevated bilirubin reaction, severe risk for pregnant women, and not to be used with other harmful chemicals. Not just not recommended for pregnant women, but severe risk. So a headache from microwave radiation is negligible compared to the chemical toxicity. So those are side effects, and the primary effects are remdesivir would inhibit RNA polymerase activities. The theory is they consider RNA polymerase as the virus's core. We know that virus, as the drawing goes, they're a core, and then there's a protein coat. Without a core, there will be no protein coat. So they are trying to inhibit RNA polymerase with this drug. Protein is something that our cells create, a friend. Like, its nature is not altered by the virus's name. Doesn't matter what they say virus, but they're still our friends. So remdesivir prevents exosome production by hindering RNA polymerase activity. Therefore, remdesivir is very harmful, obstructing the balance restoration process amid microwave radiation. Essentially, what are we trying to do here is cell destruction. Even the primary effect is harmful. So remdesivir causes primary harm and secondary reactions. Also, the N95 mask causes suffocation, respiratory failure, also a self-harm action. Disinfectant sprays are highly toxic. Don't do that. Don't use the mask. Don't use the sprays. Many die in quarantine due to isolation, confined in groups, lacking oxygen, insufficient nutrition, and inadequate water for hygiene. Societal attitudes stigmatize, alienate, and terrorize individuals. People die from losing the will to live. Pretty much no family support to encourage them to get over the sickness. Parents even told children who try to visit, turn them away so that they won't get infected in some cases. People in isolation are exploited financially, coerced into buying drugs, synthetic vitamins. Synthetic vitamins don't work. Natural vitamins is what work. The crisis leads to irrational spending, isolation camps, and money-making centers. Even the priests performing postmortems are vultures. Autopsies on dead victims reveal tiny blood clots, not seen in, just flu patients. Only those who use remdesivir had them. Blood clots are the cause of death. So where did they come from? Not the flu. Apparently, remdesivir treatment caused blood clots in first the lungs and then all organs. Lungs get attacked first. The healthcare industry falsely claims COVID causes severe blood clots to terrorize the populace further. People would certainly overcome it without vaccination. There is no mechanism for transmission, infection. People get infected at different times. Disease manifestation may occur at different time. No evidence of one person affecting another. There's no evidence at all. There is no transmission. People get infected at different times. They came into contact with the poison at different times. Disease manifestation may occur at different times too, because everyone is different. Their health condition is different. Their nutrition is different. No evidence of one person infecting another. Coincidental contact is then misinterpreted as being infectious, right? So let's say A and B both came into contact with something that would then make them sick. A gets sick 1 week after the event, B gets sick 2 weeks after the event. They will usually say that A infected B, but that's not what happened. A is less healthy. So A got sick after 7 days, and B is more healthy. B gets sick after 14 days. Microwave radiation affects cell membrane permeability, causing hemoglobin to release iron. So hemoglobin is what created by our bone marrow and is then bound to the iron Fe2 plus. This serves the function of transporting oxygen throughout the body. Microwave radiation increases free iron in the blood because now then they are broken into hemoglobin and free iron Fe2 plus. This is in our blood veins. Free iron in the blood is toxic. So this is the first source of toxicity. Free iron in blood. The cure is natural vitamin C, right? Natural. Very important. Vitamin C. So the disease to know here is scurvy. Very important disease. James Lind in 1747 discovered the cause of scurvy among sailors who had been at sea for over 3 months. They exhibited sores, bleeding, tooth loss, lethargy, fatigue, and insanity due to the lack of natural vitamin C. So in the past, sea vessel travel very slowly, and there's no way they can have enough vegetable for people on the ship. Eating vegetable and fruit align with nature and evolutionary principles. So creation created vegetable for us to consume. Natural vitamin C is found in vegetable and fruit, not just citrus, like lemons and oranges. Vegetable, all vegetable and fruits like dragon fruit, guava, papaya have more vitamin C than citrus. Synthetic iron supplements are scam. So synthetic vitamin C don't work. I used to work for the dietary supplement industry. So without iron, hemoglobin cannot transport oxygen. This is the second issue. So free hemoglobin is also an issue. Because free hemoglobin leads to the decrease in oxygen transport capability. This is then from the kidney. The kidney filter out blood. They sense that this capability is lower, which then secrete huge amount of erythropoietin. This is a hormone that tells our bone marrow to create more hemoglobin. It cannot create iron, but it can create hemoglobin. So, so over time, more and more hemoglobin is created. So the body will eventually self-regulate and recover if it is left alone. Using chemical poses much higher risk. So symptoms of oxygen deficiencies include neurological issues, dizziness, headache, decreased consciousness, muscle trauma, loss of smell, loss of taste, seizures, strokes. Like a lot of people reported that they lost sense of smell for months or days. Like eating would be pretty terrible, I would imagine. Food would taste terrible. Remdesivir is ineffective. No, just ineffective. But it was approved by the FDA. So now you know what it means when you see this term, the NIAIC also sign on to this scandal. The FDA approved the use of highly toxic chemicals. Like other chemicals include dexamethasone, this is a steroid, very strong steroid used primarily for anti-inflammation, but exacerbate infections and can even cause brain erosion. Bad stuff. Yeah, it's a bad day when you have brain erosion. So, note, switching from remdesivir to another poison does not guarantee effectiveness. Trials also continue with Halo, peridol. In Asia, is also called vitamin H. Currently, this is the strongest antipsychotic drug. It's big term. It means it's affect your brain. So patient are then put in a dazed state, causing blood vessel to ruptures. Very bad chemicals. And let's stop here for the topic.